Hi, my name is Heather Fisher, and you may have seen me on Instagram at a Trailblazing Teacher. I am so happy to be here and be a part of this conference. We have an amazing group of educators who are willing to share their knowledge and resources with you. The fact that you are able to get these sessions for free is truly amazing, so I hope that they are helpful and help you to prepare for next year. So speaking of next year, wow, just wow. I don't think anyone would have predicted we would be in this situation. If you're anything like me, you may be feeling a little overwhelmed with the uncertainty of what next year will look like, but the fact that you are here watching these videos truly shows what kind of educator you are. You are willing to learn, you are willing to grow, and you are willing to try to be as prepared as possible no matter what next year will bring. So I know that you've heard this so many times, and it's probably getting old, but these are definitely unprecedented times. The silver lining in all of this is that we have learned so much in such a short amount of time, and I truly believe that creativity thrives not when we are given complete freedom, but when there are constraints. We've had to learn how to do what we do in the classroom in a completely different environment. And even next year, we'll probably have a lot of different regulations. As I'm speaking right now, I'm actually in my son's nursery. He's asleep in his pack and play in our room, and I'm filming my session with my computer on my son's high chair. And I'm sitting on, some flexible seating. We'll just say that. But why am I doing this? Because I had to get creative. I have no blank space in my house, and my husband is in the office. So here I am. I would have never done this before, so it's forcing me to get creative. So while next year may not be ideal, there are still a ton of different things that we can do and a ton of different platforms that we can utilize to teach and connect with our students. So today I wanted to share with you a fantastic tool that you can use to teach and connect with your students. Flipgrid is a 100% free platform that can be accessed from any device that allows teachers to host video discussions with their students. So because this is a digital tool, you can absolutely use this during distance learning. But I also highly recommend that you use it in the classroom as well. So no matter what happens next year, this tool can be an excellent resource for you and your students. So now, while this conference is specifically for upper elementary teachers, I know some of you also teach lower elementary as well. So I want you to know that Flipgrid is completely doable for younger students. I used Flipgrid with my first graders in the classroom and during distance learning. So this tool is not exclusive to upper elementary classrooms. If you teach younger grades, you may just need to offer students a little bit more support, but they can absolutely use this platform as well. Trust me, the kids these days probably know a lot more about technology than we do, and if they don't yet, technology is built into their way of life. So they will figure it out very quickly. So today I want to talk to you about three things. Number one, just give you a big overview of what Flipgrid is and why you should use it. I want to show you how you can use it, and also give you some ideas of how you can use it during distance learning and in your traditional classroom. So I want this to be as practical as possible so you can feel confident leaving this conference or stopping this video to check it out and use it with your students next year. So let's get started. Okay, so like I shared, Flipgrid is a place where you can host video discussions with your students. And so it's kind of like a message board where the teacher will post a question or a prompt, which Flipgrid calls a topic, and the students will reply with a video response. And what's a really cool feature of Flipgrid is that students can also view and respond to each other's video responses. So it really is an interactive experience. So here's some of the reasons why you might want to try Flipgrid. Number one, it is super engaging. Let's be honest, anything that involves technology, is going to be engaging for students. And then you put in video responses where students are actually interacting with one another. The interaction and the engagement just completely increases. So it kind of even turns into like a social media platform, except it has a lot of educational value to it. So it's engaging, it increases interaction, which is extremely important for distance learning, but it's also accessible on any web-based device. So Flipgrid can be accessed on the website or on the app. So as long as your student has access to the internet, they should be able to access Flipgrid. Also, Flipgrid there's tons of different uses for Flipgrid. If any conversation, any discussion that you would have in the classroom can also be done on the Flipgrid platform. So maybe you want to have an academic conversation about a reading passage. Maybe you want students to present their STEM project. Maybe you want to help develop student social emotional skills. Maybe you want students to get to know each other a little bit better and build that classroom community. So Flipgrid is a place that you can have any discussion that you want. And also, Flipgrid, because students are submitting video responses, students are held accountable for their learning, especially in distance learning. One of the biggest concerns and that teachers have had that they've shared with me is that it's hard to hold students accountable for their learning. So by asking students to submit a video response, they're being held accountable for their learning. You can assign a video for them to watch or reading passage for them to read. And by giving them that video response, you can see if they actually did it. Also, on the Flipgrid platform, you can provide feedback. Now, feedback can be done in a variety of different ways. You can reply to a student's video just like any other student could, where it's public, or you can post private written or video feedback to your students. You can also use rubrics to give them a score based on their ideas, their performance, or you can even upload your own criteria for a rubric and give them a score that way. Also, one of my favorite features of Flipgrid is that Flipgrid can connect to a lot of other digital platforms. It's super easy to share Flipgrid activities to Google Classroom. You can connect to Wakelet. You can connect to YouTube. Well, I'll kind of show you all of that a little bit later, but it's a really great feature that you can connect to other digital platforms, which is awesome, especially if you're in the middle of distance learning. So I want to give you a big picture of how Flipgrid works, and then I'm going to kind of go into details for you. So number one is the teacher will create a grid. Now, Flipgrid literally announced I think 2 days ago that they're changing, I think August 1st, if I'm remembering correctly. They're no longer calling it a grid, they're calling it a group. But really, at the end of the day, a grid or a group, it's really just a learning community. So just like you would create a classroom for a group of students, you can create a grid for a group of students. And then the teacher, once they create a grid, they will be able to create topics. Now, those topics, like I shared before, are prompts, and you can use those for your discussions. Then the teacher will share that link or that code to students so that your students can access the Flipgrid activity. And then the students will record their video response. And you have the option of asking students to respond to their peers' videos as well. And then you also can respond and provide feedback to your students. So how do you create a grid now that it's called a group? So there are 3 different ways that you can do this. So the first way is to make it so students have to have a school email address in order to access the Flipgrid activity. That's great for upper elementary students. Most students know their school email, but what if your students don't even have a school email, or you're not really sure if they know their school email? You can also create student IDs for your students so they can access the grid that way. Maybe you are trying to do a PLC, or maybe you have an adult group of learners. You can also create public grids, but it will ask them to sign in with their email address as well. Here are some additional options that you have when creating a grid. So once you've created it, you can go in and edit it, and you have an option to add a password for public grids. You can add a personalized header if you want. You can create an image and put that at the top, just like you could on a Google Classroom. You also have the choice of doing the auto-generated video captions, which can be extremely important for certain learners. And then you have the options of changing your notifications. Maybe you don't want to get an email every single time a student submits their own video, or maybe you do. It's completely up to you, but there's some different options in there. Okay, so the next thing is, after you've created your grid or your group, whatever they're going to call it, is you get to add a topic. So topic is a prompt for your learning community, and the basics are you're just going to add a title, add your instructions. You're going to change the recording time of how long you want students' videos to be. You also have the option of adding a media resource, and here's where you get to possibly connect with other digital platforms. So if you look at that screenshot that I shared on the presentation, you can see that you can record your own video, so students will be able to see and view that video when they're looking at the topic. You can upload a video. Maybe you have a pre-recorded lesson that you want to share with students. You can connect to a YouTube video. You can upload an image, add a GIF, or add an emoji. And look at the bottom there, there's other digital platforms that you can use and connect: Google, Kahoot, Wakelet, Nearpod, News ELA, Adobe Spark, Wonderopolis, Buncee. So many awesome options. So once you've created, or you've done the basics of adding a title, changing the recording settings, adding instructions, there are some more advanced options that you have. So first, you can add a tip. Now, this can be really important, especially for some younger learners as well, such as, hey, make sure the angle of your computer or device is facing you appropriately. Maybe you want to give a tip for a specific topic. For example, I want you to show your mathematical thinking by using the whiteboard feature. You can also attach different links, up to 9 different links when you are creating your topic. So I've done it before where I have attached Google Docs and Google Slides that students can access. You can also attach YouTube links, and maybe, here's a tip. If your students do not have access to YouTube, or you want to make it a little bit more safer, you can also use SafeTube links, which basically you take the link from YouTube and you put it into the SafeTube website, and it gives you a safe video. So a SafeTube link. So that's a good tip. You can also change the status and available features, including video moderation. So you could change the status of each topic. So maybe you want to freeze a topic where students can see it, but they can't submit videos. Maybe you want to hide topics, and you can also just make it active. You can also change some of the features that are available to students. And the big one is video moderation. So if you want to double check videos before everyone can view them, you would want to turn on the video moderation setting. That also may be important for certain topics that you feel students wouldn't want others to view it. Like certain topics that students may be sharing things that may make them feel a little bit more vulnerable. You can keep those videos hidden permanently. You don't have to accept it or approve it for others to view. So it's a really great feature of Flipgrid as well. And then you can change the feedback option. So in that setting, you can either choose to use basic feedback, which is just giving feedback based on their ideas and performance, or you can add your own criteria and your own rubric. Okay, so once the teacher has created their grid or their group, they've added topics, then the teacher will share that topic with students. So you can see that you can copy the whole link and send it to students. You can also just share the code. So when they go to flipgrid.com, they can just type in that code and they can get access to that Flipgrid topic. You also have the option of downloading a QR code that students can just scan and get right into the grid. So once students are able to access the Flipgrid topic, students will create a video. And so I wanted to, I forgot this. So what's really cool is when students are looking at the topic, they have the option of using the immersive reader function. And so if you have students that are maybe struggling readers, they can click the immersive reader icon and they could actually have that topic read to them. Okay, so some video features. So you can upload videos. Okay, so this is where you can potentially app smash. Okay, so actually the first time that I used Flipgrid was during a meeting with other teachers, and we recorded our video through Snapchat actually to use some of those Snapchat features, and then uploaded that video into Flipgrid. So maybe you want to have your students use Chatterpix and then download that video and upload that portion to Flipgrid. There's so many different possibilities, but you can upload videos if your students choose. They can also screen record. They can pause to record video shorts. You can add filters, add text, add emojis or stickers, add a drawing, add custom images. They can use the whiteboard feature. When the whiteboard feature is up, their picture is not shown, it's just the whiteboard. They also have access to sticky notes. So while they're recording their video, they can see their plan and see what they want to say in the video, but that sticky note is not visible in the final video. So I'm going to show you this quick video to kind of show some of the features of Flipgrid.
So I wanted to record a video to share with you some of the features that students have access to when they are recording a Flipgrid response. The first feature is filters. Here are some of the filters that students can use, including this pixelated one, which may be helpful for students who are feeling a little bit more shy. They can also add text. They can also add emojis and stickers. There are many stickers for them to choose from.
I sound like a robot. I apologize.
If they don't like some of the stickers that are available already in the app, they can upload their own image. And they can also add their own drawing, which may be helpful when they are doing math. If they want, they can also access the whiteboard.
So notice how when you're using the whiteboard feature, when you're recording, it'll show it in real time. Okay, video's done. Okay, so like I shared, Flipgrid just announced a few new changes just like 2 days ago. So here are some new features that are coming out. So there's going to have different background options like graph paper, lined or dotted paper. There's going to be a split screen recording. So you can actually, I think you can have the whiteboard in your video and your picture. I think that's going to be one of the options. And then there's going to be a lot of different filters and fonts and sticker options that students can choose from. So, okay, so once students submit their videos, you can have students review and respond to their peers' videos, which is what makes this platform a little bit more interactive. Then you can also provide feedback. You can provide written or video feedback. You can give a score. The only thing that you need to know is that if students did not sign in with their email address, you're going to need to send a link to the feedback or add an email address, because students don't need to have their own login. That's just one of the tricky things about Flipgrid. Also, you have the option of posting a video reply that can be seen by other classmates. So just like another student would respond to someone else's video, you can also do the same. So here are so many different options that of Flipgrid activities that you can use throughout the entire year. So you can do icebreakers at the beginning of the year, get to know you activities, goal setting activities, book talks and commercials, family connections, current and historical events. You can do aha moments, exit tickets, think alouds, mathematical thinking, virtual and physical field trip reflections, fluency and phonics, mental health check-ins, recorder karaoke, physical ed demonstrations, science fairs and STEM, newscasts, presentations, lesson reflections, digital portfolios. So many different possibilities. But you can pretty much do whatever you want. Anything that you do in the classroom, any discussions that you have, any collection that you want to have, Flipgrid is probably going to be the platform that you would use for that. So I hope that this was super helpful to you. I want you to know that I do have some Flipgrid resources that are available to you for free on my blog. If you go to trailblazingteacher.com, you can access my free resource library to get those Flipgrid resources. I also have some back to school activities that I just posted on TPT. Those are also available to you. So there are 7 different activities that you can use to start off your year if you are interested. And what's really nice is that this can be used in the classroom or during distance learning. So no matter what next year looks like, this could be something that would be really helpful. So I hope you found this helpful, and I hope to talk to you soon. Thank you for watching. I hope that this was helpful to you. I would love to connect with you. I am on Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram at A Trailblazing Teacher. Don't forget to check out my blog and my TPT store. And I hope that your back to school season is wonderful.